Okay, so picture this, right? You're on a Scandinavian Airlines flight, Oslo to Malaga. Sun, sand, you've got your vacation vibes going.
Sounds delightful
Yeah,
until it isn't.
exactly. Lurking on this flight was a stowaway. Not your typical, oops, I left my bag in the overhead bin kind of stowaway, though. This one. This one decided to make a grand entrance from a passenger's on-flight meal.
Oh no, I've heard about this. This is the mouse, right?
We've got ourselves a mouse on a plane situation. And the best part, we've got Forbes, USA Today, even a Facebook post from someone who was actually on the flight.
Well, that's one way to get your 15 minutes of fame. So what happened? Spill the tea.
Okay, so imagine you're cruising at 30,000 feet, meal service starts, everyone's ready for their sad airplane pasta.
You say sad pasta like it's a bad thing.
Fair point. Anyway, out of nowhere, a mouse pops out of someone's dinner.
You can't make this stuff up.
Truth is stranger than fiction. A passenger, Ural Borstad, saw the whole thing. He even posted about it on Facebook. I love this. He said, believe it or not, a lady next to me here at SAS Plus opened the food and jumped out a mouse.
I mean, can you blame the mouse? Airplane food is airplane food. But seriously, what happened next? Did the plane turn around? Did people panic?
This little guy caused quite the stir. The plane had to make an unscheduled landing in Copenhagen because, well, mics aren't exactly known for their piloting skills.
And this, everyone, is why we have airline protocols. Imagine the chaos if there were no plan in place for unexpected passengers of the rodent variety.
Seriously. It really makes you realize how a tiny variable, I mean, we're talking a mouse here, can totally throw a wrench in the whole intricate system of air travel.
Absolutely. We think we have this controlled environment up in the air, but nature always finds a way, doesn't it? Now, I'm curious, what did the airline have to say about this whole ordeal? Did they issue an apology? Offer everyone a free flight?
Surprisingly, SAS, the airline, didn't call it an emergency. They emphasized it was a normal landing, which, okay, maybe normal for following procedure.
Right, because I don't know about you, but a mouse hijacking my flight to Spain doesn't exactly scream Tuesday to me.
Not to mention the mental image of this little guy scurrying around the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And get this, they had to fumigate the entire plane.
Oh, I can only imagine the poor souls tasked with that job. All right, team, gear up. We've got a rogue rodent situation at Gate 42. But jokes aside, those procedures exist for a reason. We're talking health regulations preventing a full-blown infestation. It's serious stuff.
Makes you think twice about complaining about those little packets of peanuts, huh? But speaking of the passengers, what was their reaction to all this? They must have been freaking out, you'd think, right? But here's the kicker. Borestad actually said, everyone stayed pretty calm. Yeah. Like weirdly calm. Almost amused, even. He even wondered if it was a Scandinavian composure thing.
Now, that's an interesting angle. It really highlights how cultural differences play into these unexpected situations. You've got Scandinavian cultures, often known for that sense of Janteloven not wanting to make a fuss, reacting differently than, say, a more, shall we say, expressive culture. Fascinating, isn't it?
Totally. It's like, yeah, there's a mouse on the loose, but hey, at least the coffee's still hot, right?
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, it makes you wonder,
It makes you wonder if this had happened on a smaller plane or with a different mix of people. Would the reaction have been the same? Would people have been as understanding as chill? Or would it have been complete and utter pandemonium?
so many possibilities. It's like a social experiment disguised as an airline mishap. This whole thing, it's just so human, you know?
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that we're all just sharing this crazy journey together, unexpected detours and all.
And sometimes those detours make for the best stories. Imagine being on that flight. Years from now, you're not going to remember the movie they played or even what country you were headed to.
You're going to remember the mouse, the time a tiny creature brought a giant metal bird to its knees.
Exactly. So there you have it. A seemingly ridiculous story about a mouse on a plane.
That actually reveals a lot about airline protocols, cultural quirks, and the fascinating dynamics of shared human experience.
And maybe, just maybe, it'll make you think twice before you open that in-flight meal without taking a good look inside. You never know who might be joining you for dinner.
Bon appetit treat.
Too easy. All right, on that note, we'll let you go. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Outro music.